the governing board of the trustees of the Willits, I almost say United States, Willits Unified School District is called to order at 4 o'clock. So we'll do roll call. Mr. Lilker is not here. Mrs. Nunez?
Yes.
Mrs. Lamfridge?
Yes.
Ms. Sukney?
Yes.
The student board member doesn't come until later, and me, Mrs. King, I'm here. So are there any changes to the agenda?
No.
No? So I'm asking if the board will someone make a motion to adopt the agenda?
I move that we adopt the agenda.
I second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So closed session is called at 4:02 to discuss items listed under closed session on the agenda. The regular meeting of the Willits Unified School District reconvenes to open session at 5 o'clock. Please, the pledge of allegiance will be led by the board clerk Sydney.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the report out of closed session is there's nothing to report out because no action was taken. Government's norms. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, we did vote on introduced transfers, thank you for reminding me. So the board approved eight district transfers, 6 in and 2 out. So, thank you for reminding me. Government's norms, we agreed to act with dignity, respect differences, build trust, work as a team, engage the public, focus on the success of every student, and work together for the common good. So we now have informational presentations. So I would like to call on the principal's school site report. I believe there will be.
So,
Do you want to?
yeah, I could say a few things there. So typically we have a principal having a report added to our agenda and about the great work they're doing at the schools. So to the board, you can see, really the what they have done and the events and the work they have done. So, do you have any questions?
Are we going to present them?
No, there's no presentation. There's no presentation. It's just, it's to show what they're doing here on a monthly basis. And they're doing a great job on all of that, and I really appreciate all the amount of work they're doing to make it great schools.
So as a board representative, a board member, I want to say how much I appreciate the reports from the principals. It gave me some detail that was really helpful to me to understand what's going on at each school site, and I really appreciate the time and effort that went into trying to communicate to the board.
I also wanted to thank all the administrators. We obviously can't make it to every site all the time, so your guys' presentations help us see pictures of what's going around. It keeps us informed on activities, and I just know that it takes a lot of time and effort, and I just really appreciate it. So I thank all of you guys very much for doing those.
One thing I noticed the other day is I was driving past Blosser Lane during the rain, and it was time for the kids to get out of school and get picked up, and the buses were there. It was pretty chaotic, but they had so many staff members out there with these kids with their umbrellas to keep them safe, and it was awe-inspiring. So thank you.
You want this now? Oh, yes. You were in my board report, but instead you will be in the thing that says, yes, I must say that I often get that little daily, these are all the things that we're going to do this week, that comes from the students and one of the teachers at the high school, and also comes from, actually, at every site. But these reports are really, really nice. They're real thorough, they include all sorts of things. And since I especially owe Brookside, because I haven't been there a lot, twice since school started, that's a month. But anyway, I'll fix that. It's just that really keeps me updated. So thank you.
And then we have a presentation regarding the varsity girls golf team recognition.
Okay, ladies?
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys for being here. My name is Juliana Aguilar, and I'm one of the golf coaches.
I'm here today, I'm the assistant coach.
It's been an honor coaching these lovely ladies. As some of you might know, this is the first year that we have a designated girls golf program. So I would like to start off by thanking the board, thanking Matt Marotti, thanking Mr. Bowles as well for helping us start that program. Thank you all. We worked hard. Mostly the girls, right? The girls worked really hard. So we started off with a little bit of difficulties because the schools in our area, they were not able to get girls in their programs due to other difficulties, but we were able to play mostly Lower Lake. Lower Lake was able to get a girls golf team. That being said, we played 4 times, and technically we were 4-0. I would really also like to extend immense gratitude to the community of Willits and the surrounding areas. We had put an ad out in the newspaper, like if anyone has any golf equipment, clubs, balls. The community just came together, and I am so grateful. I'm not from here, but I'm like, wow, this is like, I'm honored. Like, you guys are great. So thank you to the community of Willits. Without the support of Willits community, and again, a few surrounding areas, Redwood Valley, we had someone donate from Redwood Valley as well. Honestly, we would not have enough equipment for that, so thank you again.
It was really enjoyable. Yeah, it was a great season. You guys did a great job.
So we're gonna honor the girls today. Some of them already have block W's, so because not everyone will get one, that's the reason why, they already have one. So everyone will get a little golf emblem, and someone will get a block W. So first of all, I'd like to present this certificate to Susana Navarro. And next, I would like to present this certificate to Brody Lambrich. Next, Gracie Crook. And Gracie's our only freshman. And next, we have Veda Morgan. And last but not least, Sophia Vaccaro.
I just want to say about golf, my son was on the golf team at the high school for 4 years and ended up captain his senior year. But the wonderful thing about golf is it's a sport you can keep playing on into your adulthood, unlike some other team sports and other sports. So it's a great skill to acquire for something you can do as an adult.
And thank you. Picture, let's take a
Yeah,
picture.
and what, you're about?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, coaches.
Thank you, Coach.
And thank you to the staff members who have taken us on.
Yes.
Everyone smile, this will be in the paper.
Make
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach.
I just want to say that there's a couple of forms on the back table for public comments in case I gave a couple of forms to people that I know are here to make public comments, but if there's anybody else, the green form is for things that are not on the agenda and not on the public comment, and the yellow form is for items that are on the agenda if you want to make public comments, and it's to give the superintendent contact information in case he wants to get back to us. And I also want to take this time, if you don't mind, to introduce David Scott. David is our new District 3 board representative for the County Office of Education. So,
Hi, everyone. I'm just here to observe. I'm not planning to make any comments, but I will say that I grew up here in Willits, so I've lived in Mendocino County my whole life, and I just really want to serve the schools in our district, make sure that we're well represented with the county. So I'm here tonight to observe the school board meeting and to take back what I can. Thank you.
thank you, David. So we now have in our agenda, we have room for comments from starting off with the student board representative comment.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I mean, our varsity football team made it to playoffs this year, so that's really good. Congratulations to our football players and our cheerleaders. Right now, we're planning on doing, I have a huge paper notes today, but we're starting to plan our Hot Winners Night at the high school, and this year we're really trying to actually involve our elderly community a lot more than we have in the past. So we're going to be going to, I don't precisely know the name, but there's an elderly center across the library area, and I've gone there a couple times, and they have a really sweet community there. I love all of them. And they have an incredible little garden that they make there too. We're going to be contacting the Grange, seeing if we can get out on like a Pancake Sunday, because we know that's where a lot of them like to lobby sometimes. What else? We are also starting we have an FFA fundraiser going on, which is, it's Light Up the Park. I think it's going to be the Merry-Go-Round Park. And with that one, we're going to be doing like holiday arts and crafts. We're playing hot cocoa. We're doing a s'mores bar. And then I think we're also trying to get a Santa. So hopefully that goes as planned. Baked goods. And I think that's all that we have so far going for that. And then next Monday, which is I think the 17th, we're going to have a senior night family meeting. So we're hoping that all the seniors and their family members also come to the high school. It's going to be 5:30 to 6:30. That's also posted on our Instagram platform, which we've been trying to make more bombastic. For the meeting, we're also going to be providing childcare there. So if any parents need like their kids watched, we'll be providing that. And then we'll also have mild snacks also going on there. And we're going to be discussing our senior sweatshirts, so pre-ordering them. For adults, we also want, not only do we want our seniors to be having senior sweatshirts, but we're hoping that the parents will also order them as well, kind of represent their seniors that are going to be on. We're also discussing our class trip that we're going to be doing. Along with that, the class trip, so the money, and then the parents slice of the money that we're going to be doing. This is the first year that the parents will have to be involved a little bit more in that. But we're going to be discussing fundraising and important dates going on into the future for the rest of our 2026 year. And then we'll be doing a question and answer at the end of that. So that's what we're working on right now. And then, as we also all know, our second trimester just started, which is great. I'm excited. Almost closer to graduation. But our sports teams are going, so our basketball and wrestling, those are I think there might be one more. Is there? Is it just basketball and wrestling? It's just basketball. Okay, yeah, so we started off with that. I'm very excited for that. I just got to wrestling practice. And, yeah, it seems to be, today I got my schedule changes for the first time. It's Thursday, so we put in our schedule request. We started this new QR system, which I actually really like a lot more than putting in the slips, but the only difference is, I mean, like, issue I would say I possibly have with it, is my friends and I, we've all been being put in classes that not all of us have requested in the past, so we're just being put into classes even though it's our senior years, and it's kind of strange, so, and it's been a repetitive problem I've had to deal with, so I just thought that's probably something that I should mention, because that's my job. But besides that, that's what's going on with high school, so, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to insert something here, is that since it's a playoff game, that they have to charge for tickets, they have to charge for admission, and you can only do it online. So, if you plan on attending the game tomorrow night, that you have to get your tickets online. The link, I know, has been posted on Facebook, I don't know other social
The
media
link
sites.
will also have one outside of the high school when you're walking in, so you
Yeah.
can be able to purchase them at the door.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought
yes.
you were able to do that at the ticket booth, you're allowed.
Only online now.
Yeah, you have to do a QR code, but you can still.
They'll still be there
Not
at
if
the
you
site,
can't go
yeah,
in.
they're still gonna be there at the site.
Thank you.
Yep.
The link is also posted on the Willits Unified website and the high school website.
And then on the light up at the park, are you guys still doing the trees?
We are hoping to
Okay.
do the trees as well, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so now we'll do board comments. I'll start with you, Jennifer.
So I started working on a couple things. In particular, one is I'm having a lot of fun with is I am volunteering for the music club at the high school. It's the first time in my life I'm getting to use what I studied in college and graduate school. The kids are amazing. Right now, they're just jamming. They're just trying things out to see how they sound. They're going to be performing. Some of them are performing at the Hop tonight.
Yeah, it's incredible to listen to them at lunch.
And yeah, it's hard not to hear them.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
And also working on the ethnic study stuff and finding things that are more acceptable to everybody as being that's what it is. So that's about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Halloween was awesome. I got to go to senior night for the girls soccer. It was really cool to watch them. They were super proud. And then volleyball senior night we went to, and that one was really, really nice. I was unable to make it I was able to make it to the senior football night, which was really cool because I got to watch my friends walk their kids out on the field for their last time. So that was really fun to be a part of. I'm excited to attend the playoff game tomorrow night. I'm hoping that we're going to take it and move on. I was invited to go watch the vaping presentation at Blosser today. That was given by Jen Dar, who works for the Tobacco Use Prevention and Education. I loved it. The kids were engaged. She was very engaging. She was telling them the effects on their brain and helping them to come up with different ways to deal with stress instead of, obviously going to vaping. The kids were super engaged. They were answering her questions, asking the kids what they wanted to be when they were older was really, really cool because these are fifth graders and they were like, one of them wanted to be a paleontologist and another kid was like, I want to be an astrophysicist, and you were just like, oh, okay, like, police officer, highway patrol, one kid raised his hand and said, I don't want to grow up because I don't want to pay taxes. It was one of those, like, yeah, I got you, I'm on your side. But when they were talking about ways that they handle when they got frustrated or upset, gosh, us as adults could take lessons from these kids. One kid was talking about how he enjoys cooking, how cooking makes him happy, and seeing other people, he savor the flavors in their mouth after he cooks. And this is a fifth grade little boy, and I was just like, I want to be his best friend. Like, how they love to paint, or sports are what they go to when they're frustrated or upset. Or one kid said, oh, I go for a walk. It was just super cool to listen to these fifth graders, and they were just so much more wiser. You're like, it just really took me off guard when they were talking. So it's like, you guys sound so much wiser than some of the high school kids that I've been around when you talk to them about what they want to do when they grow up, or what they do when they get stressed out. So I I thank you so much for inviting me to come. I hope that we continue that, and I hope that we can implement that into Bechtel. It was just a really, really cool thing to be a part of, and I just appreciate the invite, and it was just really, really cool. Other than that, Sober Grad will be at the playoff game selling cotton candy. Please come and help support all of these kids with all their hard work, the football players, the parents. I hope that the community rallies behind them, and I hope a lot of people show up. I've been blasting all over my Facebook, on Sober Grad's website. I hope that we come and show our kids that we support them. So I hope to see y'all there. Thank you.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm not able to sound the way I'm supposed to. But I really do think a major congratulations should go out to the administration in our district. All the changes and stuff have caused some real issues, especially for them personally, I would imagine. But it was a big change at some sites for the kids, and from what I've heard about it, all of them seem to have gone really smoothly. So it's a real big deal. Congratulations. I would name you all, but I'd mess that up. So just know that every single one of you are doing really nicely. The other thing is that Dr. Grove has started their interventions. I'm really glad that that happened. I was sort of scared that, every time things change, it's not always the change I wanted, which is really disappointing, but this one has gone out really smoothly, and that was good. I, too, went to a number of things happening at school sites, and my truly favorite is that I got to go up to Sherwood and watch the fall festival and eat fall festival food and watch a fall festival play and sing along, and I didn't even get rained on, and I was really impressed. Your yard looks outstanding, and it's been looking good, but it just was all finished more or less, and it really looked nice. And I got that stuff from you all, and thank you very much. Okay, that helped. The other thing is that I really was impressed, frankly, that the high school pulled off their, they always pull it off, but sometimes it doesn't go as smoothly as it went this past Friday. And with their awards for football players, but especially for cheerleaders, and walking across the field almost looked like graduation. It was really cool, and it was a big deal. And then the other was the, I don't have to look at my notes. Oh, and how that all went with Blosser's little, I don't know, my niece invited me to go watch it. Not the Thriller, because I always go to that one. I always know what it looks like, but this was supposed to be my big deal to the point where she do whatever she did in the TV. But I didn't know it was a special event, but it was certainly interesting to watch her do that, so that's good. She seems real pleased. Anyway, the other big deals that I know of is that I'm hoping that I get all of the information I'm looking for at school site councils. I haven't been to those in a long while when I used to be on those committees, and so it was nice to know that theoretically all I need to do is ask questions and I'll get answers, which is a good thing. I'm especially interested in budgets and how they're set up, and I've made all that clear, so I figure in, I believe it's January 28th or something, because they only meet like 3 or 4 times a year, that then I'll get those things. When I do, I can start explaining to you what kind of happens there, because in truth, it used to be a very big deal that no one took seriously, and now it looks real relaxed and calm. But with the changes in administrations, not in our district, but throughout the country, it's going to be real important for you to know what money continues to come in, what things you can expect your school to supply, and what happens next. I have told you for a couple of months that the minutes really disappointed me. It was difficult to learn anything from them, and this past month, if you look them over, they are much better than they have been, and I'm certain that they'll continue on that path. But it was just nice to be able to know that not just did someone talk, because that's kind of a given, but a couple of points on what they had to say. Lastly, at this particular minute at any rate, I'm really hoping that I'll be able to come back and report more or less to you when our D&E LAC classes are gonna get started, and, what's going on there. That's an issue that when I talk around the community, I'm most associated with, that people are saying, oh, don't bother, we're not coming. But I really do think that if maybe not the first meeting, definitely the second, they will see that it's not an issue, they need to show up, and the sooner they open their mouth to have a voice, the better it is. And it's not limited, please understand. There's Spanish translations if you're a non-English speaker that speaks Spanish. But it also, there are other nationalities in our community that have language barriers. At this moment, we don't have translators, but they need to get up and get started too, since they're all facing similar issues. And it's also really important to know where your funds are going, and that's something we can take care of, and how your classes are doing, how you can feel supported by the district. Oh, and then lastly, this is my real lastly, I learned that Mason is going to run in a year. Good luck.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I just found another part of my notes. Miss Aguilar and Miss Richley, I also wanted to thank you so much. Brody kind of took me off guard when she said she wanted to do golf. She learned a lot. She absolutely loved everything you did. I appreciate you guys getting that Willits girls team back together. Also, tell Nolan thank you for all his help. I just wanted to make sure to say that. And then Miss Chavez and Miss Brackett for taking your big group of FFA to the national convention. My daughter had an amazing experience, memories that she's going to carry with her forever. So thank you guys so much.
Okay, I would like to start off my comments by reminding us all here that the school board members that sit up here get paid no salary. We receive no benefits. We make no stipends off the school district. We do this month after month, year after year, because we care deeply about kids, just as you care deeply about kids. We care deeply about kids, we care about staff and the families of the students in this community. So we are all here together on the same page. We care about kids. This month I spent a day embedded in the special ed programs at Bethel Grove Middle School. I saw some wonderful staff interactions with students, as well as some great curriculum being taught. I was really impressed. And dropping off my granddaughter off at the high school, I have enjoyed looking at the Dia de los Muertos ofrendas and artwork lining the main hall. It's been very, my granddaughter is an artist, and it's been fun to look at them with her. So the detail she notices, and it's nice to look at them. I dropped by Gloucester today, and I saw some wonderful artwork display done by students in the art class, which is just when we started the elementary art class, as well as the after-school art club. They were really lovely to look at. And I also got to sit in on the health lesson about the dangers of vaping. And I've said for a long time is that we need to start talking about vaping, not just at the high school level, but at the middle school level. And at the fifth grade is a great place to start. So I'm a prime example of somebody that grew up with smokers. Every adult in my family smoked, except for one grandmother and one grandfather. And I started smoking when I was 12, because it was around me and everybody was doing it. And anyway, I started smoking when I was 12, and thank goodness I was around a group of people in my early 20s that didn't smoke, and I was able to quit. But kids pick this up, they see it in the people around them, they see it in the community, and they come to think it's cool. And it was a really wonderful lesson. It was taught by now Jen Darb, which was Jen Julius. She graduated in 2005, and she was a living example of what it's like to be a good public speaker. And she pointed it out as one of the jobs that the kids could look for as a future for themselves, is to be a public speaker. She did a great job of engaging the kids, as April's already said. And I was excited to see the Willits High School football team in the playoffs, and I'll be there tomorrow night cheering them on in their first playoff game. And I wish students and staff a very nice Thanksgiving with family and loved ones, as well as an enjoyable festival to keep it all. then we have CSEA comments. I apologize, I got distracted.
Good evening, my name's Heather, and for those of you who don't know me, I am the communications officer of our local CSEA. And, it's hard to believe, but we are in the final stretch of the year. There's currently a lot of energy on our campuses. The students at Bethel Grove Middle School and the high school are settling into their new class schedules as we begin our second trimester. Students at all sites are excited for the upcoming holidays, and our staff is doing their best to keep things moving through this busy season leading up to our winter break. During the upcoming Thanksgiving and winter breaks, our maintenance and grounds and custodial teams will be busy across the district. From Brookside Elementary to the district office, they're going to be completing improvement projects, doing some extra cleaning, and prepping our facilities for the new year. They've also recently completed several projects, from building a greenhouse at Blosser to putting in new borders on the playground at Brookside to hold the wood chips in, and also revamping a couple classes at the high school. They've also been spending some of their rainy days up on roofs to fix leaks and to take notes on some issues that we probably will be looking at in the future to repair. We appreciate their hard work in keeping our schools safe, functional, and welcoming for students and staff alike. Our transportation department has recently hired an additional bus driver and 2 subs, which is fantastic. They are all still in their training phase, so they're not driving yet, but soon will be. When they are, it will ease the current strain on our transportation department and make it much easier to cover not only our regular transportation, but away games for sports and, of course, field trips. We've also recently hired an additional instructional assistant, a general instructional assistant, and special education instructional assistant. So we are moving closer to being fully staffed on a classified level. So we're inching towards it. Looking ahead, our CSEA local chapter will be holding an election in December, and all e-board positions are open. So come January, you are going to have a completely new e-board for CSEA. We are encouraging our members who are interested to put themselves forward. We're hoping that we get good people who are interested in representing their colleagues and work collaboratively with the district. It's very important to step forward and put yourself in positions like this and represent not only yourself but your fellow staff members, and make sure that you have a voice in what goes on around our wonderful school district. So in December, I'll be announcing who our new board members are, and they begin their services in January. On behalf of all classified employees, I'd like to thank the board and, of course, our district leadership, all of us, for your continued partnership and support of the work that we do. We wish you a very safe, restful, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. WTA?
Thanks for having me yet again. My name is Brian Bowles. I'm the president of WTA, and I too came from wrestling practice as Amelia did. So we packed it in from 7:30 all the way till now and ongoing. So thank you for all your hard work. Yes, you do. Couple of things I wanted to mention. I think some of them have been touched on already, but I wanted to welcome Brandon Ludwig to the vice principal site spot at our high school. He started his job yesterday, officially, on Wednesday officially. Yeah, that was yesterday. Okay. They're already out doing a fantastic job interacting with students, and there to support, and that feeling of support is genuine. And so we appreciate that. We had a lot of snafus with scheduling this time around, with people being placed in classes they hadn't requested. And so that, as a parent, that is tricky. An 18-year-old computer who's trying to prepare for college, that kind of kills a week of your education, right? And you're spending time in class you're not supposed to be in, only to get into the A through G class that you're supposed to be in, that you actually requested, makes it tricky. You have to play catch up, and you're not starting off summer and all of fall, and then come back and compete right now, having not been on a team for 5 months. So it brings the equity back to where it should be, which is boys team, girls team, and competing at the right time. So I want to applaud everybody who made that possible. And a quick note, Ms. Aguilar applied for a grant actually early on before she had the job and received the grant. And it got us $1,200, I believe, towards supplies as well. So between the community, Ms. Aguilar, and the grant that she received, we were able to pull this off. So I'm excited. I'm really excited about it all moving in the future. We're having a good conversation with the district WTAs surrounding two things that I think are important. The special ed, some language that we're working on in the special ed world. And I'm working closely with Kelly, who is the head of special ed department. And also independent study. Those are two things that I think we both agree could use some work, and I think we're putting in positive work to improve what's best for students ultimately. I think the ultimate goal is going to be an improvement for our student population. So I'm excited about that. With Mr. Ludwig moving from teacher to admin, we opened up, one of the positions he did was go to the elementary school and provide the reading program. And so that is kind of up in the air right now, not necessarily that it's not going to be there, but the person who's going to do that is up in the air. And I feel that is an invaluable program. I feel when you look at that, the way I look at it, it's a 20-year goal maybe as short as 10. But the process is we teach those kids that are high schoolers how to read a book to a kid, how to interact with a kid that is 5 and 6 years old. And when they become parents, they're going to have those skills now. But at the same time, we're teaching those young kids the importance of reading. And so it's kind of a dual cycle. And when those, our current seniors, juniors and seniors have kids, when their kids are 5 years old, they'll have started with a better base than they would have otherwise. So we're teaching future adults and we're teaching reading to youth at the same time. So it is an incredibly important program, and I know that Kenneth and Brandon are absolutely supportive of it. So I just want to put it on, kind of raise it up to make sure that it's aware that it's in a delicate flux right now, like yesterday.
Mr. Bowles,
What?
we have a.
Oh, we have one.
person.
So I missed that memo.
Yeah, you have not been updated, it just happened today. So,
Yeah, we're solving problems after hours.
Yeah, it was very quick.
No, that's fantastic, thank you. Let's see, so the special ed part that I think is worth looking into, we have a need for it. We have a need for more staffing. And I appreciate everybody that went and saw our special ed program. They are working miracles on a daily basis, I would agree. But we have a larger student population coming to our district than we had at the beginning of the year. And we also have a decreased staff at the high school than we had last year. And so we're seeing an influx of behavior issues at our site because we're overloaded at that site. So that is something, of course, it's ongoing conversation, but it's something that I think you should be aware of, because I feel like that population is not being served to the best of our abilities. And increased staffing would help that. Let's see, before I forget about the sports, GoFan is the name of that.
Right.
So if you type in GoFan, it'll populate your phone in 2 seconds, and then you click on it, and it'll bring you to Willits. Follow the links. At the high school, our lack of music, right? We don't have music with the exception of the club. It does affect us beyond just the music, because it pushes all the kids that would normally be in a class into all the other classes, so it decreases their options and increases their class size. So it does have an effect in scheduling, it has effect on class size, and I would argue it has an effect on morale, especially for those people who are interested in music. Simultaneously though, we have Jennifer Sukney in that support role.
If I could add something, we also have 0 period because the music teacher from the junior is coming over and
That's
doing
correct.
that starting at 7.
That's correct. So we have 1 period where we used to have 4. Let's see here. I got news from our and a half to 2 months of funding in our stable, which of course should make all of us very nervous. They're basically deficit spending right now, so the amount of income they're getting is less than what's outgoing right now, due to, of course, a great deal of variables that are outside of our control. But it is something we need to be paying attention to, and I know that Melissa has put in a great deal of work looking for other options. And so we continue to be optimistic and want to work with the district towards options in the future, potentially. I wanted to give a little shout out to our rep here, who went last week to Stanford, toured Stanford, and reminded me of the name, and Willits speech, I can't remember the other school.
UC Berkeley and Menlo.
And Menlo, so UC Berkeley, Menlo, and Stanford. She toured those 3 schools, but also she was able to practice with the Menlo team, who's actively recruiting her to try to wrestle for Menlo.
I was offered 80,000.
So she was
Yeah.
offered scholarship, so she's doing great things, and she's a great representative for your school district here at large. Let's see. Good. That's it. So that concludes really my speech. The last thing I'd like to say, and it's really a bigger picture than just a WTA, is that we're going into winter. There's less sun. We have all the grades we're all due. Everybody's stressed about their finals, and we're working hard, and a lot of times with less resources. And so we need to always think about taking care of each other, right? Help the person when they're down, pick the person up, give the compliment, and remember that we all have lives outside of the job. And remember that, and respect that. So I respect all of you for everything that you do, and I know that you do it pro bono, so thank you for all your pro bono. Sadly, I don't believe you can write it off for your taxes, but thank you for your time tonight. Thank you.
Excuse me, Brian, I just wanted to publicly make it really clear that I super appreciate how thorough your comments are and how 100% you give. And I know that you're probably the last thanked on the thank you lists, but in my mind, you are beyond outstanding, and if you happen to hear different, you can smile and be polite. Let me know, I'll correct it.
Okay, superintendent comments? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Superintendent comments?
Thank you. So, actually, it's very interesting. We just finished the semester. The first semester went by so quickly, and here we are in the second semester. So I want to thank all the teachers for their hard work and dedication. When I see them at school every single day, rain, shine, they're out there preparing lesson plans in the evening, during the weekend, and giving the best they can for those students. And also want to give my gratitude to all the classifieds, all the bus drivers. And it's interesting because I think about the bus drivers when I drive early in the morning, and I have the communication going on with Rick to find out how the roads are, making sure it's safe, especially going up to Sherwood. So here we are 5:30 in the morning to make sure everything's okay. So get a cup of coffee and just wait to see what happens to make sure everything's fine. And I know going to the winter, we're very much aware of the roads and want to make sure all the kids are safe and staff as well. Also thanking all the custodians and secretaries and instructional aides for the work they do with our students. They do a lot of behind the scenes work. We don't see it, but they're there every single day and we need them. It's interesting here, Thanksgiving is coming up very soon. And actually we were talking about pies today, but which I'm already thinking about ordering my pies. At times, it's my weekend. So, for next week, I'll be all the sites, and the district as well will be at different sites. I'll be serving lunch at all the sites, so it's going to be interesting. And doing that, that's what we're here for. We're here for the kids, and giving them that special meal is something they're going to remember for life. And when you ask a child, what do you remember for life? It's the things the special events, the special things. So I'm very grateful that I'm going to do that next week. So if you see me in the kitchen with a different attire, that will be me, okay? So, also also was great, the last couple weeks now, we had up to the 31st Halloween, and I was thrilled to see the parade at Brookside, the young ones walking around with all the costumes. It was very touching, and seeing the TKs, and they were very happy and sharing the costumes, and so went to the trailer thing. I heard it was a tradition, and again, I grew up with trailer, as many of you, back in the 80s. I think we all tried that ourselves, right? At one point or another, making all those fancy moves, but it was great to see that there's something fun at school, and that's what we need to do for the children, something fun, something they're gonna remember. So I look forward to trailer next year. And so, as well, going to the festival at Sherwood, and there's a good event up there, and they have a whole bunch of lasagnas. I couldn't make a decision which one I wanted. I selected one, but it was a great event to go up there and see your parents, see your children, and seeing that they're happy and they're there at the school. And the same night, I went all the way down, and I saw Mr. Mansfield. I went to the football game, so I went up there, came back down, couldn't find a parking. I was looking for the parking, someone just got up. But it was great to do two events and one night, and again for the children, see what we see the great things we're doing at our schools. With that here, I'm looking forward to the football game tomorrow night, and I was asking Melissa today, do they have tomorrow? So I know that I'm going to have food, and it's going to be a great event. Again, that's what brings the pride and the spirit of Willits Unified. Actually, this month we have a new California math framework that just came out. It's multiple pages that we are reviewing the math framework with the principals. It would take a whole day or more. The twist they have done for several years. So we're also looking at new math curriculum adoption for the upcoming school year. So I'm going to, with the principals, and we're going to also invite some teachers to go see a display of math curriculum coming out in December at the county. And so looking at our current curriculum, which is obsolete, and so we're looking from TK to 8th grade. And our new English framework, the new one's coming out in February. So again, the state is changing a lot of the framework, and so as we are advancing the framework, we have to make some adjustments. And so that will be the next step after the math adoption. So interesting thing and great things for the kids, because we want to make sure we're giving them the best curriculum and the most updated curriculum for them, which is fully aligned with the standards. Very impressive that the learning communities for school success. Our teacher Amanda Laskovics, the AP Environmental Science teacher, received a $7,600 and for the outdoor learning experience. I'm very excited to hear that. And I was invited to go to a ride on the boat, but I'm the guy who gets sick all the time. It doesn't matter what happened or what I do. And I know if I go out there, she's going to be so concerned. And so out of everybody, I'm the one who gets sick all the time. It doesn't matter what I do. So I'm very sensitive to seasickness. But it's exciting. They're going to do a field trip. I may just go along, maybe I'll wait at the shore, see what happens. Again, learning doesn't only take place in the classroom, it takes place outside. We want our students to go outside. I am a big believer in field trips, and so that they can be exposed to different experiences out there and learn what's outside. And lastly also, I'm very pleased that we have the change within our administration team to go to different sites and having different administration coming on board. We have a very strong team together, and with them, we're working on the vision, the system, and creating what we want to see now and for the next few years, and make it strong and so that we can be very successful. It takes a lot of work sometimes. It takes time to roll up the sleeves and to analyze what we're doing and to see things that are not working, and let's make it work. And lastly, I want to say, as we approach Thanksgiving, I want to thank all of our family families and staff and community members for the continued partnership and support. Together, remember that we're building a district where students feel seen, supported, and inspired to succeed. Thank you.
All right, then we have a break for 5 minutes, and we have, and then when we come back, we have public comment. I'm not finding mine, okay, so I gather to start the break. We're back in session, and now we have podium here. So I know there's 2 people that have public comment, maybe there's more. Gary, you want to go first?
Sure. My name is Gary Martin, and I run the Art Talks program for students. And so what I do is I travel around monthly and go to schools here in Willits, Coppola, and Laytonville, and give them art history lessons. And what I'm requesting from the board is, is there any way that you can help me with this? And, you know, this is really for the principals. The impulse and ability to create art is one of the highlights of being human. It's a key quality that sets us apart from the animal world, one that makes life more meaningful and enjoyable. While there are artistic skills that make it easier for people to bring their imaginations into the visible, tangible world, art doesn't abide by any of these hard and fast rules, especially in kids' art, especially in young kids' art. There's no right or wrong in art, only expression and interpretation. That's the beauty of it. Unlike working with numbers and spreadsheets and data, there's no correct answer and no one way to arrive at the proper destination. As the famous quote goes from the Dead Man's Poet Society, medicine, law, engineering, business, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, and love, that's what we stay alive for. If you take my request into consideration, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you.
Thank you, Gary, for all that you do for students in Willits and also Laytonville and Coppola.
Sure.
And I can really easily attest to how well he does in a classroom for years. He took my 2nd graders and even a little before that, my 1st graders, and it's amazing what they can develop and what they can remember to describe after listening, and you only got like 4 minutes max, usually it was 30.
Right.
Because they don't sit still that long real well. But he paid, I mean, they paid really good attention to you, and it was super thrilled to watch your students.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Becky?
Good evening, my name is Becky Bowles. I am the welding teacher at the high school. I have taught a number of things in my tenure. When I first started teaching, and I was concerned about the lack of literacy in the schools, I was told that Becky, well, we just have to deal with what is given to us and move on. Well, as time progressed, with me, it has become higher on my bucket list. And so I am here and probably will be here for a while in the hopes that we can make some lasting and systemic changes. And one of them is that I really want every kid who goes through Willits High School to at least have a one-room schoolhouse sort of idea. That means if you don't get something, if you don't know your multiplication tables, you don't know 3 times 7, when you go back next year, that teacher's going to teach you the 3 times 7. You're not losing great big gaps when you go from one class to the next, one school to the next, one year to the next. So we have to, in my estimation, come up with some way to track achievement. And by that means we need to figure out some way to track those deficits that are also what we are dealing with. I have been told that there is something called EduClimber that will chart students from one school to the next, one class to the next, one grade to the next. It will test particular subjects. I firmly believe that not everybody learns at the same rate. I think that there are some kids that all they have to do is walk by it and they catch it and they understand that. And I think there are other kids you have to tell once, and I think there are other kids you have to tell twice, and other kids you have to tell more often. And if we're talking about a literacy throughout the school, it seems that we need to pay more attention to that. MTSS, which is multi-tiered system of supports, is something that I believe we are supposed to track. I don't think that we probably track it probably as well as we should. EduClimber is supposed to help with that, so that when you go from one school to the next, that information goes to the next school and it goes to the next school, so that everybody knows what's going on and it can't get lost. I do believe that we lose problems probably multiple times in our 12 years. And what I'm proposing is what we call SMART goals. So they are specific, they are measurable, they are achievable, they are relevant, and they're time bound. So I think that these foundational skills we have to pay attention to, and you can't build a house without a foundation, and we keep trying to do it over and over and over again. So these are criterion reference measurements, which is I think why they came up with it. They're things that they're not evaluating against one kid or the next. Unfortunately, they are memorized facts, and somewhere along the way, things that were memorized have become dirty words. But I think that there are some things that we have to memorize and we have to follow those along. So one of them is there it is. This right here. This is Anita Archer's word parts and vowel combinations. I taught it for 3 years. It's what we use in the school district for remediation of kids who have difficulty reading. This is the word parts that allow someone to read the instructions and be able to understand what they mean. And although we're supposed to start multisyllabic words in 3rd grade, I don't think that they get it all in 3rd grade, and I can assure you that they don't have it by the time they get to high school. If you talk to at least one of the senior teachers that we have, they say they have to move their material down to the 6th and 7th grade level to get at the kids. And so we are missing something if we are not getting our kids higher than 6th or 7th grade. If you believe that 60 to 70% of our kids are not reading and not doing math as well as they're supposed to, I would like to figure out some way that we only have 25% after numerous times of remediation, after numerous attempts, after numerous ways of trying to fix this problem. So as a welding teacher, I have to teach them the multiplication table so I can teach them their fractions. I think there's a problem with that. I think that we're not even making very good blue-collar workers. I think we need to, if we're talking about articulation, I think, for example, there need to be 3 rules with fractions so that when they start in 3rd, 4th, whatever it is, they know those three rules.
Becky, I'll let you go another minute. I forgot to set the timer, but it's been over 3 minutes, but you can go ahead for another minute.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. I think they ought to be able to have their math facts addition up to 20. I think that they need to know each of their multiplication tables. I think they need to rules of fractions, and they need to be the same rules, because the kids in my classes, they have them all mixed up. Teachers teach them differently in 3rd grade than they do in 4th grade, than they do in 5th grade, and they have them so mixed up, there's no way they can use them. And typing. Unfortunately, we no longer teach typing in school. We show it to kids when they are in middle school, and we do not teach it. We teach it computers in high school. So we have kids that cannot do touch typing. And when you get out of school, the thing that gets you out of a entry-level position is their ability to type. So if you have kids who can't read and they can't write, and you can't read their writing when they do write it, it makes no sense to me that you can't teach our typing so that they can help themselves with their reading and their spelling and all of that. I think that talking to it about here is with a grassroots approach is good, but I think that you folks up there need to come together and say that we need to have some way of tracking these skills. There needs to be things that we need to teach them, and we need to die on those skills. We need to attack them in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade.
I apologize, I didn't set the time. Okay, so now we have the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second? A second. All those, are there any comments from the board or questions regarding the consent agenda? Okay, then, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, then we go on to action items, and we have approval of the revised 2025-2026 designation of CIF representatives to the league. So do I hear a motion to approve the action item as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay. Are there any comments from the board?
Yes. The dates are the same ones, is that just a typo? And I would really appreciate, once before, you want to answer, I don't know who knows the answers, but is that, it says 24, 25, and then it says, it gives its list of names and stuff, but we're approving for next year, right?
No.
Or we're doing it for,
This is a revised CIF that was approved by the board in May, since there is a new myself, and there's also Brandon and Brian as the members, so there's a few, it's everything 2025, 2026.
okay, well, so then the June 2025 is the.
No, we're just revising, we need to update all that, so this document stays as is, we don't change anything there.
Oh, okay, so you're just asking for an approval of the changes?
You should change the names, yeah.
Okay, that's right, I get it. Okay, I'm fine. Okay, that was the first part, that's done. So then the second part is, there used to be a process for how people were chosen to fill those positions. Is that still the same as it was? Okay, and they come up every single year, it's not like you did the job, so next year it's yours? Okay, naturally, I would imagine people just get a notice soon and then it gets
So
taken
far,
care of.
So the decisions made by the principal on selecting who they want to be for the next school year. So all the principals who are working all that, it will be done by the principals to decide.
Okay, that's the part I knew about, that's not changing anymore?
It's still the same.
Thanks.
We can vote?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so the next action item is approval to employ Yulia Richley as a principal Sanhedrin with a variable term waiver. Do I hear a motion to approve that action item?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
these waivers because they don't, there is no completed administrative credential.
They're in the process to get the credential at the moment.
Right, currently
So
in
for the year,
classes.
yes.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware they were currently in classes.
And this is statewide administrators who are going to a new school, you can get a waiver on all that. Because of shortage of administrators.
Administrators, Yeah, so my concern is, were they already enrolled as of September or August?
Yeah,
or whatever?
they're enrolled.
Oh, okay.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No, I need to abstain.
You need to abstain, okay. And then next one is approval to employ Brandon Ludwig as a vice principal at Willits High School with a variable term waiver. So do I have
I make a motion to approve, to employ Brandon Ludwig as a vice principal for Willits High School with a variable term.
second? Okay. Are there any questions from the board?
No, I know the answer to that question.
Okay. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, so now we are finished with the action items, and now we have a discussion regarding the district vision, mission, and belief statement.
So, you should have the vision and mission and belief statement in front of you that the current one and the one proposed by SSDA. Based on the current one, I'm writing many vision and missions in my life. It seems, and also looking at SSDA, it seems it's too long. Also, it's not very straightforward, I would say. So SSDA made a recommendation, which is an up-to-date vision, mission, and showing a little bit about us, because again, as administrators, and they should have some key words that comes out of the vision and mission, so that someone, when people talk to them, they should be able to say, okay, well, this is who we are, and this is where we're going. So looking at the vision mission, it would be good to we need to revise it so that it's more aligned with what we do today and to our 21st century education, and also updating our the population of students and the work that we're doing on the schools. So the thing is to kind of review a little bit here and bring it back in December for approval, so we can update that in our website that reflects today's education needs.
Any comments from the board? I've read over the proposal from the Small School District Association, and that's what their expertise is, the small schools. And I really appreciate how they sort of condensed information and updated information. And I absolutely agree that our previous vision statement is very long, and because it's long, it doesn't create much of a vision, because it sort of wanders off in different directions. And I think our vision statement should be very clear where we're going. And so
Should be to the point.
it should be to the point. Thank you very much. So can you, for the next board meeting, John, can you bring a couple of options back to the board to vote on, or to consider more fully at our next board meeting?
I will do that.
Okay. Okay, so the meeting is adjourned at 6:00.